Welcome back to the Champion Mindset Collective podcast. Today we're going to dive into what it means to be a champion in your life by embracing uncertainty through job losses, restructuring, life's transitions, and how we can regulate and build resilience, just like champions do. We'll specifically look at how it impacts the whole workplace and life, especially during times of job losses, restructuring, and major life transitions. We'll discuss what uncertainty is, how it affects us, and the challenges that we face and the emotions we experience. Plus, we'll explore what we seek during these times and how to navigate through them. I'm your host, Anthony Dahya, and I'm grateful that you're here listening to this episode and would love for you to share this episode with your friends, your family, and your workmates. And if you haven't already done so, please follow this podcast and so you don't miss any future episodes, and so we can get this podcast out to the wider community. Kia ora everyone, welcome to this podcast episode. I'm glad that you're here. You know, they say that there's only two certainties in life, which are death and taxes. Well, in New Zealand, we can add a third one. It's the unpredictable weather. 1 minute it's sunny and then the next minute it's pouring cats and dogs. And speaking of uncertainty, that's our topic for today. How it creeps up in our lives, both in work and in home, and why a bit of unpredictability actually can be good for us. I'll also share some tips and tricks on how we can deal with uncertainty and live more consciously in a present moment. So let's dive in. So what is uncertainty? It's that feeling when you're not sure what's going on and what's going to happen next. It's like you're at a barbecue and someone hands you a plate and says, "Be careful, the potato salad has been sitting out for a while." You never know if you're going to enjoy that delicious side dish or spend the next day regretting your choices. But let's get serious for a moment. Uncertainty can be daunting. Yet it is something that we all deal with on a daily basis. Uncertainty is essentially having limited knowledge about what will happen next, and it can disrupt our sense of stability. Research shows that our brains are wired to seek certainty. When we face uncertainty, it can trigger anxiety, stress, and as our brains struggle to predict and prepare for future outcomes. So let's start with uncertainty in the workplace. Now picture this, you're working on a big project and the deadlines are looming and your boss is as unpredictable as the Auckland weather forecast. If you're not in Auckland, New Zealand, it's literally 4 seasons in one day. It's so unpredictable. You don't know what's coming. You're always prepared for rain, hail, shine. So you think you've done everything right, but there's always that nagging feeling, what if it's not good enough? What if I'm going to fail? I remember once I was in the middle of a major presentation at a governance meeting, and I had it all planned on how it was going to go, how I was going to run it, how I was going to present it. And then my GM decided on the spot, as the meeting started, that he wanted to be in control of the presentation. Now imagine the pressure I would have been under. Talk about uncertainty. I had to wing it, and I just let it flow and just adapt. And surprisingly, it went well. Well, you see, my GM decided that it was too complex for him and he wouldn't be able to do it, so he handed it back to me and said, "You can do it." And just as I planned it, I was able to present it. But you see, with flexibility and adaptability, there was no stress or pressure. So work is full of uncertainties. Will the boss or the client like my presentation? Will we meet our sales targets? But here's a tip. Embrace it. Embrace that moment. Prepare as much as you can, but like what I tend to do is don't over-prepare because you're putting yourself under more pressure. So prepare as much as you can, but stay flexible. Sometimes the best ideas come when you're improvising. Now, job losses and organizational restructuring is particularly stressful. I'll share a little bit before, but I've been through many restructures in my career, 23 to be exact. According to research, these events can lead to increased levels of stress, anxiety, and depression. And the financial stress, the fear of the unknown, of loss of identity, are real significant challenges. They really, really affect you. But remember, embracing flexibility and being open to new opportunities can turn these challenges into a growth experience. Now let's look at uncertainty in our personal life. Relationships, health, family, these are all areas that are rife with uncertainties. Have you ever tried planning a vacation, a holiday? You book your flights, you reserve the hotels, and then hypothetically, Uncle Bob announces that he's decided to become vegan. And suddenly, you're rushing around like a madman or woman, and all those restaurant reservations that you've made need to be changed. And the whole itinerary goes out the window. Have you ever tried to plan a surprise party for your friend where you've set everything up except one thing? Your friend decides to go on a spontaneous road trip that day. Now talk about surprises. So personal uncertainties can be stressful, but they also teach us to be adaptable. A sense of humour helps too. When life throws curveballs at you, laugh it off and think of it as an adventure. It's like we almost need to go back to becoming childlike and actually have fun. When things happen, go, whatever, and just have an adventure. After all, who doesn't love a good plot twist to your story? One day, you'll be able to tell that story to someone and have a really good laugh and look back at that time and say, look how far I've come and look at what I was able to handle and achieve. And in those times of uncertainty, people often experience anxiety, sadness, anger, and fear. They look for stability, support, clarity, and hope. Building a strong support network, practicing mindfulness, and setting small achievable goals can help you manage these feelings and provide a sense of control and direction. Now let's look at the unique perspective of how New Zealanders or Kiwis handle uncertainty. Well, in New Zealand, we have our own unique relationship with uncertainty. Living on the tectonic plates, we know that the ground beneath us is always unstable. Now, I hail from Wellington, which is the capital of New Zealand, and it is right on the fault line. Most of Wellington is reclaimed land. It used to be ocean, and as the land rose, we built a city all over it. Now, in Wellington, you would feel there would be about 200 earthquakes a day, but you don't feel all of them. And yet we're a resilient bunch. We prepare for earthquakes, we have plans for floods, and we look out for rogue sheep on our highways. There's a little bit of fun there. Talking about floods, just a year or two ago, we had major floods in a lot of New Zealand in the North Island, and Auckland was severely hit. Motorways underwater. There were cars stuck on the motorway. There was buses trying to get people home. It was a complete nightmare. But the community got around. You see, the greatest thing we have in New Zealand, greatest strength is our community spirit. When uncertainty hits, we band together. Remember the Christchurch earthquakes? The way Kiwis supported each other was truly inspiring. We've learnt that while we can't control everything, we can always control how we respond. So how we respond to uncertainty is crucial. Rather than taking it as an attack on us, you take it as an opportunity of what opportunities there are for you to be able to move forward. I'd like to share a story about my experience. Now, in my career, I've been through 23 restructures over a space of about 30-something years of working in corporate world. I've been made redundant 3 times in my career, twice from the same company and once from a local government company. Now, each time, it hasn't been easy. It's been really, really uncertain. It's been stressful and so on. But you see, the more it happened, the more I was able to just relax, just adapt, and look at opportunities that were there for me. So last year, in 2023, June 2023, I was made redundant. And I didn't see it as a negative. I actually saw it as an opportunity to look at what else I could achieve in my life. And I felt the universe or God saying to me, it's time to work for yourself. It's time to do something for yourself. And I started my own business doing consulting and coaching. And the first 6 months were going well, everything was going well, and then the consulting contract ended and there was no more work for me. And for 6 months, I had no income. I went through 2 mortgage holidays, and when you go on a mortgage holiday, the interest that you haven't paid gets added on when you start paying it. On top of that, in this economic space that we're living in at the moment, interest rates went up as well. So I went from 2% or 3% interest rates on my mortgage to something like 6 or 7%. Now, that's still not the highest it's ever been, because I believe 9% or something like that years ago, back in the 80s, was the highest. Although I was getting help from the government. I was getting some money, $600 or something a week, but that wasn't going to be paying for my mortgage. I had to look at creative ways of how I could support myself. So I asked for help from the government. I went to IRD and asked for help for tax credits. I was looking for work that I could do that would bring me a little bit of money. I had a flatmate for about 3 months, and it was really great because she helped me through a lot of personal stuff as well, as she was a coach as well. Now, coming up to May 2024, I was starting to get a little bit nervous because my mortgage holiday, the second mortgage holiday, was coming to an end, and the bank wasn't going to help me any further. So I was like, what am I going to do? And you see, what I realized was for a number of years, for probably most of my life, I've been living my life from a place of lack and scarcity. And I had to do some work on myself. I had to heal through my childhood trauma. I had to heal through a number of different things and work through a number of different things to get myself at the right vibrational energy level to be able to attract what was also seeking me as well. So applied for so many jobs, and every single job was a redirection. Most people will call it a rejection, and it was a no, 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 no. But I knew it was a redirection, and I knew there was something else that was meant for me. Now, I was on my coaching journey, and I changed niches a couple of times, and I was trying to work out exactly what I was going to do. And then it hit me is that all this stuff that I've been through, uncertainty, redundancies, restructures, all these things, even with relationships, that is what I'm meant to help other people with. And so here I am recording this episode regarding uncertainty because I really want to help people who are going through this and help them get on the right track and be successful in their lives. Now, as I was saying, I was looking for all these jobs, but I couldn't land one. And then I just relaxed and went, you know what, universe, God, I trust in you that whatever is meant to be is going to come at the right time. And I remember an ex-workmate who was with me at AT, at Auckland Transport, said to me, there's a business partner role at Auckland Council and they've been trying to hire someone and they haven't found anyone. Give me your CV and I'll put it through. And I thought nothing of it and I went, okay, sure, here you go. Well, next thing I know, 2 days later, I get a call. 2 days after that, I get an interview and I got the job. And now I'm in this role. Now, I'm actually going into this role while there's a massive reorganization going on, a massive restructure going on, and there's likely to be redundancies. But I know that the reason I'm there is to help people that are going through the things that I've already been through numerous times in my life. So I encourage you, before I go into the tips and tricks, I encourage you to stay strong and not to give up, but to look at opportunities. Think outside the box. It doesn't always have to be a job. It could be you're meant to start your own business. You're meant to work for yourself. You're meant to do something greater than what you're doing right now. So I encourage you to really look within. Don't look outside of yourself. Look within. Look at the opportunities that are in front of you and look within and see, what do I need to learn? What changes do I need to make in my life that are going to help me get to where I want to be or desire to be? Let's get into some practical tips and tricks that will help you deal with uncertainty and be more present in your life. Number one is practicing mindfulness and meditation. This has been instrumental in my life. It's been so amazing, really going into that space of introspection and learning about yourself, what's coming up for you, what's happening, and then being able to move forward. So mindfulness practices have been shown to reduce anxiety and they improve your emotional regulation. Start with simple breathing exercises. Ground yourself with breath. Ground yourself to the earth, to Mother Earth, and let Mother Earth support you. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and focus on your breath. Inhale deeply through your nose and hold it for a few seconds. And feel your stomach rising, and also breathe it deep into your abdomen, because that's where you ground yourself. And then exhale slowly through your mouth. Your exhale should be longer than your inhale. Repeat this 5 times, bringing your attention to your breath whenever your mind starts to wander. Number 2 is cognitive reframing. This involves changing the way we think about the situation and altering its emotional impact to us. When you encounter the uncertainty, challenge the negative thoughts. For example, if you're worried about a job interview, reframe your thinking from I might fail to this is an opportunity to learn and grow. By changing the perspective, you can reduce the emotional impact of uncertainty. Now, the 3 C's, I don't know if you've heard of this. You catch your thoughts, you check your thoughts, and you change your thoughts. So often we think things in our lives because the way we've been programmed, the things that we've learned through experience, a lot of our beliefs are based on other people's thoughts and words. And you've got to really check yourself and go, well, is this really true about myself? So I encourage you to use the 3 C's, which is catch your thought, check your thought, and change your thought. And if your thoughts and your emotions don't align, then I'd encourage you to sit with yourself and align them. Let your thoughts go. Make sure that your thoughts and your emotions are aligning. Number 3, build a support network. Having strong support networks can help buffer against the negative effects of uncertainty. Reach out to friends and family or colleagues when you're feeling overwhelmed. Share your thoughts and your feelings and don't hesitate to ask for support. There's also coaches, mentors, therapists, counselors available. Sometimes it's just about talking about our concerns that can provide relief and new perspective. So when we voice it out, when we speak it out, speak your truth and be open to sharing with others. Number 4, embrace flexibility and adaptability. And we talked about this before. Being adaptable and being open to change is crucial when you're dealing with uncertainty. Practice adaptability by exposing yourself to new experiences and challenges. This could be as simple as taking a different route to work, trying a new hobby, or learning a new skill. By regularly stepping out of your comfort zone, you'll become more comfortable with uncertainty and change. Number 5, set small, achievable goals. When facing uncertainty, setting small, manageable goals can help provide a sense of control and direction. Breaking down these larger goals into smaller ones, uncertain situations into smaller, actionable steps. For instance, if you're uncertain about a big project at work, create a step-by-step plan and specific tasks and deadlines. Rather than looking at it as a big thing to do, which is going to be overwhelming, break it down into smaller chunks, and then you can tick off day by day, and you know that you're making progress. Celebrate your progress along the way and stay motivated and stay focused. Number 6, practice self-compassion. And this is really, really important. Being kind to ourselves during uncertain times is essential. Treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would with a friend. When you make a mistake or feel overwhelmed, remind yourself that it's okay not to have all the answers. And practice self-care activities to nurture your body and your mind. Taking a walk in nature, enjoying a warm bath, journaling your thoughts and feelings can also help. Journaling is a really amazing way of getting your thoughts out of your head onto the paper, and then as you look back and you see patterns appearing of a particular thing happening in your life, you can start to get insights as to the things that you need to work on. And nature is amazing. My father always said to me, son, whenever you're stressed, whenever you're feeling down, go into nature because you'll get energized. And it is so true. Every time I've gone into nature, I've gone for a walk to the beach. I live a 10-minute walk to the beach, and it's amazing. It's like I feel so energized and charged up. So in conclusion, let's look at what we can do to make these uncertain times better for us and look at them in a different way. It's there in our jobs, it's there in our personal lives, and it's always going to be there in our lives, even in our beautiful New Zealand landscape. But it's not something to fear. Embrace it. Laugh with it. Laugh at it. Learn from it. Because often the best moments come from the most unexpected places. Thank you for joining me today. If you've found this episode helpful, please share it with others who might benefit from it. And don't forget to subscribe or follow the Champion Mindset Collective podcast for more episodes on personal and collective growth. Until next time, stay resilient, keep embracing the journey of your life with an open heart and mind. Keep championing your life and championing your greatness. Kia kaha, everyone. Have an amazing day.